Yeah, good evening, all. Welcome to Infosys Coding Training, Day 12. Am I audible? If my audio is clear, just type yes in the chat. Yeah, good evening, Zen. Okay, so thank you. Yeah, audio is clear. Thank you. Okay, right. So in this session, since tomorrow you have examination, okay, so I'll just give you the overview about examination pattern. Okay, what type of questions you may get, which topics you need to uh, focus for tomorrow's exam. Okay, then I'll give some guidelines about how to reset your password. Okay, still if you have not changed your password. Okay, so let me start the session. So you can see the exam pattern, Infosys exam pattern for SP and DSE role. Okay, so the exam structure contains total 4 questions. Okay, so 4 questions will be there, and you need to solve any 3 questions, and the duration is 3 hours duration. So within this 3 hours duration, out of 4 you need to solve any 3 questions. Now question difficulty levels, if you consider, okay, so the kind of difficulty levels you will get for each of these 4 questions. So the first question may be from easy level. Okay, so generally contains questions on arrays and strings. And the second question may be from medium difficulty level. Okay, so generally the questions will be on the topics like recursion, trees, greedy algorithms. Then the third question will be hard difficulty level. Okay, so these mostly from DP approach. Okay, so related to dynamic programming approach problems. And the fourth question may be complex level, which involves graph related questions. So always target this first question, easy level question. Okay, so try to solve this easy level question either from arrays or strings. Okay, so it becomes very easy for us to solve such kind of questions if you master the topics like arrays and strings in Java or Python. Okay, still if you have not mastered these topic, okay, still you have time. Okay, so after this session, so you work out some programs on arrays and strings, at least 5 programs, 5 to 10 programs. If you can solve using arrays and strings, then it becomes easy for you for tomorrow's exam. That means 8th February you have exam now. So 8th February 2026. So you can solve one easy level question in the examination. Okay, so still if you have time, then you practice these medium level questions containing mainly on trees and greedy algorithms, questions related to trees and greedy algorithms. Okay, and if you already mastered these two topics, okay, so then I suggest you to work problems on a hard level, that is, learn this dynamic programming approach, how to solve problems using dynamic programming approach. Okay, so if you can master this, and it becomes very easy for you to get through the examination. DP approach. Okay, so I suggest you to master this DP approach, or DP technique. Okay, it helps for other exams also. Okay, like in uh, future you might appear for other companies examinations. Okay, so there this will be helpful to you. Okay, so nowadays all companies are conducting online examinations for selection. Okay, so this dynamic programming technique is very very important in getting through such examinations. Okay, and graph related questions, they are more complex kind of problems. Okay, so if you have still time, then you can work out one or two problems related to graphs. Okay, so then how to get interview call? Okay, so with updated exam pattern, okay, so what is the cutoff for a interview, getting interview call mail? Okay, so if you solve any one question, okay, so at least one question if you solve with all test cases passed, you will get interview call for DSE role with package 7 LPA. Okay, so target solving one question first in 3 hours. You target solving one question, but all test cases passed. Okay, so this is important. This is important. All test cases passed. But if you solve one question with a 6 to 8 test cases passed, and going for the second question, okay, again here also 5 to 8 test cases passed. Okay, so this is doesn't serve your purpose. One question with all test cases passed. Okay, so then definitely you'll get a interview call for a DSE role of 7 LPA. Then if you solve any one and a half question, okay, one question from medium hard level, one from easy. Okay, so then you will get interview call for SPL1 role. Okay, so this is 11 LPA package. Okay, so that means one easy question or one question from medium level or hard level completely solved. Okay, and other question off, and it means out of 12, 6 to 8 test cases passed. Okay, so there is a chance of getting a interview call for SPL1 role. Okay, then uh, if you solve any two questions, okay, or one and a half question from medium hard level, that means one question from medium and half question from a hard level. Okay, or two questions if you solve, and definitely you will get a interview call for SPL2 role. Package is 16 LPA. Okay, the kind of package you will be offered depends on the number of questions you solve in this examination, in tomorrow's examination. Then if you solve any three questions, okay, so of medium hard or complex level, then you will get an interview call for SPL3 role. Package is 21 LPA. 21 LPA. Okay, so again in interview, there will be a technical round. Okay, so one more technical round in interview you need to face. There also some coding questions will be asked. You need to write a code. okay, in person in the interview. So this is the cutoff for getting an interview call. So which one you want to target? Okay, so be focused and utilize your 3 hours of time effectively and try to solve the questions according to these criteria. Any doubt in this? Right. Now, hope many of you have received this kind of mail. Okay, so Sunday, February 8th, 2026. Okay, so at 2 p.m. India time. Okay, so that means tomorrow at 2 p.m. your examination date and time. Okay, so duration is 3 hours. Some venue. Okay, so this is CVR College of Engineering. Student venue is CVR College of Engineering from Hyderabad. Okay, so this is Hyderabad, and others might have got their venue details also. Okay, so still, if you haven't get this venue details, you can just send a mail to Infosys stating that you haven't received this venue details. Okay, and there are some instructions. These instructions everyone should read. Okay, so you must reset the one time password. So many students are asking in the group. Okay, so how to reset one time password? Okay, so I'll tell you how to reset this one time password. But whenever you are appearing for an examination, instructions provided, you must read all the instructions carefully and understand them. Okay, so at least 4 hours before the test you should modify your or reset your one time password. Okay, so the login credentials are provided in your mail, attached to this mail. Okay, so your in this login, what are provided, username and password are provided. Generally your email ID is your username, and they have also provided a password in the mail itself. Okay, so using these two credentials you need to log in, and you need to reset. Because why we need to reset? And you use a password so that you can remember that password on the day of examination. Okay, you need to enter these two credentials, username and password, then only you can enter into the examination portal. So this is in person test. You need to go to the test center. Okay, for 3 hours, that is 180 minutes, so ends by 5 p.m. So ensure you are connected to a stable internet connection. Okay, so all these things will be taken care by test center. Okay, so you must solve any 3 out of 4 questions. See here, it is clearly mentioned. Okay, so click here to check your system compatibility. Okay, so then there is one more click here button. Okay, so you will get sample questions in the mail. Did you receive that link? Click here. Okay, and if you get that link, sample questions. Okay, so just share those sample questions PDF in our Infosys group, WhatsApp group. I already shared previous examination sample test questions. Okay, so let me recheck whether they are same or different. Anyone check that? Sample questions, that PDF you share in our Infosys group. So previous examination sample questions I shared. Hope you might have seen our in Infosys group. Yes or no? Please respond. Can anyone share now that sample test question PDF in Infosys group? Can you share? Right? I am audible now. Am I audible now? Yes. Okay. So what you need to consider is you need to uh, focus on a edge edge cases. Okay. So mainly private test cases, private test cases. Okay. So private test cases, 12 private test cases will be there. Okay. So if your code passes 6 to 8 test cases, okay, then remaining 4 failed. Generally those test cases will be related to edge test cases. Okay. So our edge test cases, or we call them as a boundary conditions. Boundary conditions. Okay. So mainly the code fails on this boundary conditions. Okay. So generally boundary conditions means you should look at the constraints provided in the problem statements. Okay. So you should take care of these constraints. For example, 1 less than or equals to n less than or equals to 10 to the power of 9 or 10 something if they give. Okay. So n value should be between 1 to 10 to the power of 9. Okay. So if n value is 0, what happens whether your code handles this kind of situation or not? Okay. So such kind of test case present in private test cases, and your code fails in such case. These things you should take care. Okay. Hmm. Understood? Right. Now once you change your password, everyone reset your password. How many of you reset your password? Just type yes, yes, yes in the chat, and we'll proceed with one problem. We'll try to solve one question today. Need to carry personal laptop? No need. Okay, it is not required to carry your laptop because test center will take care of providing systems. If there is any problem with one system, they'll provide another system for you. Okay, just take your mail printout, one valid ID proof. Okay, and carry one or two white papers for rough, pen and white papers for rough work. Okay, so even white papers they provide, the test center personnel will provide the white papers. Yeah, generally in question 1 and 2, easy. Question 1 is from easy level, question 2, medium hard level, medium level. Okay, so question 1 generally mostly on arrays and strings. Question 2, medium level means generally greedy approach and trees related question. Okay, so sometimes it may be from arrays only, but it is related to greedy approach. How to reset the password? Have you not seen this? Okay, so once mail printout is required. Okay, so better you carry if they ask. Okay, so what is the proof that you are eligible for the examination if they ask? Okay, so you can show that mail printout. So they will have data with them. Okay, but still you can show to them. Okay, so how to reset password? Just look at quickly. I'll explain. Then we'll solve this problem for today. Yeah. So in your mail, instructions and guidelines are provided. No. So below those guidelines, there is a link provided to you. So this link, you click on this link or you copy paste this link in the browser. Okay. Then log in. Then it asks you for username and a password. So in your mail, they have provided username and a password. With that username password, you log in. Okay, so then it asks you to change the password. Okay, so change the password and try to remember the password. If you change the password and if you forget tomorrow, then you cannot get a chance to reset the password again. Okay, so better reset the password which you can remember easily. Okay, understood? Hope it is clear. Okay. So let us work out this problem. Next greater element. Okay. So this is the question given. The next greater element of some element x in an array is the first greater element that is to the right of x in the same array. Okay. So that is the meaning of a next greater element he is saying. Okay. So next greater element means, for example, if for some element x in the array, you are given an array with some elements. Okay, so if you can take any element x in the array, okay, the first greater element that is to the right of x. Okay, the first greater element, see here, the first greater element that is occurring to the right of this element x in the same array. Okay, so that is called as a the next greater element. Okay, so then you are given a zero indexed integer array called as a nums. Then you need to determine the next greater element. Next greater element for each element. Okay. If there is no next greater element for some element, okay, then the answer for this query is -1. Then you should store -1 for that element. Okay. So return an array answer of length nums dot length such that answer of I is the next greater element as described above. Okay, so this is the definition of the next greater element. Example, see here, if this is your input array and this should be the output array. That is what given here. Okay, so then explanation will be provided to you like this. Okay, so for then that means for the first element 4. Okay, so next greater is 5. Okay, so that means 4 the next greater element. Okay, so see here, 5 is greater and 10 is greater, 8 is greater than the 4. Okay, but out of these which is the next greater element? The one which is occurring first, which is occurring first after this 4. Okay, so 5 is occurring first, this becomes the next greater of 4. Okay, so that means you need to store 5 at index 0. Okay, so in this another array. Okay, so in another array called as answer. Okay, so you need to store 5. Okay, then for the next element 5, the next greater is 10. Okay, so for this element 5, the next greater element is 10. There are two greater elements 10 and 8, but the first occurring element is 10. Okay, so for this the next greater element is 10. Okay, so for 2 the next greater is 10 here, first occurring element. So for 2, that means in this index you need to store. For 10, see, after 10 there is no greater element, so that's why you need to store -1. Similarly for 8, right side you don't have any greater element, so that's why you need to store -1. None are occurring for 10 and 8, so that's why you need to store a -1. And this new array you should return. Okay, so this is called the next greater element array. Okay, so this new array you should return. So what we need to do, how to solve such kind of questions? What we need to do for some these kind of questions? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to traverse the array. Okay, so let me explain the logic. Okay, so you need to see next greater element to the right side. No, right side you need to find out element on the right side. Okay, so that means better you traverse the array from left to right. Traverse the array from left to right so that you can find out which elements are present on the right side of a given element. Once you come to the element 2 here, you already know that the two elements 10 and 8 are on the right side of 2. Okay, but if you traverse the array from left to right for the first element, okay, so which element, which greater element is present on the right, you don't know. That means in worst case you need to traverse the array, entire array you need to traverse. Even for the second element also, again you need to traverse the entire array. For the third element also you need to traverse the entire array. Like this, for each element you need to traverse the array. Okay, one traversal for each element. Okay, so that takes a n number of times you are traversing. Again, for each element one more time you are traversing the array. In worst case it is n number of times. Okay, so then the complexity becomes a order of n square time complexity. Okay, so even if you write the correct code, it may not be accepted. Okay, that means for large arrays, if n size is 10 to the power of 10 or 12, if array of this much big size, then your code takes longer time to return this answer array. Okay, so then you will get a TLE error, time limit exceeded error. Okay, so better we need to write code which executes order of n time complexity. Got it? Okay, so this kind of simple logics if you can figure out, then it would be better. Then how to execute or write a logic which runs in order of n time complexity. Okay, so what we do is we traverse the array right to left. We traverse the array right to left. Okay, while traversing an array, okay, so what we do is if there is an element which is greater than this, okay, so that element will try to push into a stack. Will try to push into a stack. We use the stack data structure here. Okay, so this is an application of a stack here. We'll push into the stack here. Okay, so then when we reach to an element, we always see that if the stack top contains an element which is greater than this, okay, so then it is nothing but the element greater than the next greater element occurring on the right side. Obviously it is next greater element occurring on the right side. It happens to be on the right side. Okay, so that's how we store elements in the stack. Okay, so because stack follows a last in first out. Okay, so we always see that the greater element present in the stack. Okay, so now let us work out this example. How to work out this example? What we do is, this is our array. Now see, you need to work a lot on paper for getting the logic. Please remember, you need to work a lot on paper. Then only you can come up with good logic. So this is 4, 5, 2, 10 and 8. Okay, so this is our input array. Assume that A are a given array. Okay, and this is our answer array. Okay, so initially what we do is we'll store a -1 in the answer array. so that if there is no greater, okay, so no need to specially store -1 in this. Already it is present, no, just you can ignore that. Okay, so it obviously comes to that -1 is present in that place. That's how you can uh, get an answer array. Got it? Okay, so now let us try to find out. First, we'll take the first rightmost element 8. Okay, we'll take first rightmost element 8, we'll take here. Okay, so then the first element is 8, we are checking here. Okay, so then we'll check whether there is an element which is greater than this 8 in stack top. Okay, so this is our stack. This is our stack. Okay, is there any element greater than this 8 in the stack? No. Okay, so if not available, what you do is you push this element into the stack. You push this element into the stack. Okay, so it indicates that for this 8 there is no greater element, so -1 is already present in that. No need to modify this answer array. No need to modify this answer array. Okay, so then we'll take next element. Next element 10 we will take. Okay, then we will test. We will test whether the stack top, okay, so contains any greater element than this. Any greater element than this? No, there is no greater element in the stack. Now stack contains 8. Okay, so 8 greater than 10? No. Okay, so no such element. Then what we do is we'll push this into the stack. We'll push this into the stack. Okay, so then that means 10 also doesn't contain greater, next greater element on the right. So -1 is already present. These two are generated here. Okay, then we'll take the next element. Okay, so 2 will track here. Okay, so then we'll test here. Okay, whether stack top, whether stack top contains okay, stack top contains a greater element, greater than this element. Yes. Okay, so stack top is what? 10. Okay, so this 10 is greater than the current element 2. Yes. Okay, so then obviously this is the next greater element. Okay, so then we'll store 10 at this place. Okay, we'll store 10 at this place. We'll store 10 at this place. Okay, then we will push this into the stack. 2 also will push into the stack. Okay, then we'll go with the next element. Okay, so we'll process next element 5. Okay, then we will test, okay, whether stack top element is greater than this. No, it is smaller. Okay, if there is any smaller element present in the stack top, we will pop and throw it out. We will pop and throw it out. Okay, that is not going to be the next greater element. Okay, so this is popped. Then again you check whether stack top, now this is the stack top element. Okay, contains greater element. Yes, 10 is the greater element. 10 greater than 5. Yes. Okay, so then this 10 we will add to this array here. The stack top element will add to this array. Okay, so now 10 will be stored here. Okay, then we'll push 5 into the stack. We'll push 5 into the stack. Then we'll process the next element 4. Okay, so then we'll check whether the element present on the top of the stack is greater than this. Yes. Okay, so if it is greater, then that element will add to the answer array 5. Okay, so then we reached end of the array. That means beginning of the array, all elements processed. Okay, then your final array looks like this. Just see here, 5, 10, 10, -1, -1. So this kind of logic, if you can come up, okay, now it becomes easy to write the code. Any doubts in this? So shall we write code for this? So let us write a simple code for this. Okay, so like say for example, what we do is we'll define a function here. Okay, so let me define an array here. Okay, so array is equals to, okay, so something like the same array directly will take here. Okay, so input reading everything will be taken care by input portal. Okay, so don't worry, only thing is you need to complete this function. Okay, so you need to complete the function, that's it. So what we do is we call a function something like next greater. We call the function name something they give like this, next greater. Okay, then we pass array to that function. Okay, so it returns a new array. That new array will try to print here directly. You can include this in a print statement. Got it? So here what we need to do is we need to write code within this function. Okay, so here we define the function next greater. Okay, so here we are getting the array. So you will be given a comment kind of thing like this. Okay, so write your code here. This is how it appears. Write your code here. That's it. These things, input reading, everything will be pre-written. The code is pre-written. No need to change this. Okay, I'm just giving an example directly. Uh, Here I am initializing the array, but the input may be the first line contains the number of elements n value. Okay, so something like your input may be 5. Okay, then it contains next 5 elements like 4, 5, 2, 10, and 8. This is how the input is given. Okay, so how to read this input and everything, the code will be pre-written and given to you. Don't worry. Okay, so only thing is they define a function and you are asked to write, complete the function definition. That's it. Like this, they give, write your code here. Okay, so this function logic you need to develop. Got it? Okay, so we will try to finish that function. So let me erase this. Yeah, next greater element. Okay, so in this, what we required here, what we required, the very first thing is, since n value already if it is given, okay, but since here it is not given, okay, so we'll try to calculate a length of the array. Okay, so I'm trying to calculate length of the array here. We require length of the array. Okay, so then we required a new result array. Okay, answer or result array we will require here. So I create an answer array. Okay, so a list containing a -1 here. Okay, so list initially I'm storing -1. So in Python we can write like this, -1 star n. The meaning is repeat -1 n number of times. N number of times. Okay, so then your answer array initially as I shown here. So initially it contains a -1s. It contains all -1s, this answer array. Got it? Okay, so then we require a stack here. Okay, so we define a stack here, a stack, an empty list I am defining here. Okay, so we'll implement stack as a list here. Okay, so then what we need to do, we need to traverse the given array from right to left. Okay, so how we traverse in Python? In Python we traverse like this. Okay, so for I in range, I in range. Okay, so range from last indexed to 0 up to 0. Okay, so how do we get last index here? N minus 1 is the last index. Yes or no? Okay, then it should stop at a 0th index. Okay, so that means when you give end condition as -1, it stops at a 0. It stops at a 0. Okay, so that means I'll show you what is generated. Then it should be in decrement order. No, then you mention the step condition as a -1. Step condition as a -1. Okay, so it is nothing but it is shown like this, range. Okay, n minus 1, 5 minus 1 means 4. Okay, then -1 -1. what this range function does is it generates the value starting from 4 up to -1, okay, excluding. That means it stops at 0 by decrementing the numbers. Starting from 4, decrement the numbers by 1. That means 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. These 5 range of values will be generated and they will be passed into the variable I one by one. This is how the for loop executes. Sorry. Got it? Okay. So then here you need to check. Okay. So if your stack is not empty, okay, so that you can check while stack. That means if empty list returns false, stack empty list returns false. Okay. While stack, that means there are elements in the stack. If stack is containing some elements, and at the same time, if a stack of top, okay, so stack of top, here the stack is implemented as an array, no? Okay, so I have shown vertically here, but your stack array looks like this. Your stack array, for example, 8, 10, okay, 2 are there, assume that 0, 1, 2. Okay, so the last element is always the top element in the stack. The last element in the list is always the top element. Okay, so this is, if I show this vertically, it looks like this. It looks like this. Okay, so in Python you can access the last element by using -1 index. Stack of -1 always gives the last element, which is top elements. So you need to check if while stack means if stack contains some elements. What we are doing with the current element, we are always checking whether it is greater or not. Okay, so now see how this for loop executes. Range value given, so first I value will become 4. I value will become 4. That means we are processing this element. We are processing this element. Now see what we are doing. Okay, so while stack, if there are elements in the stack, okay, so and stack of -1, that means if stack of top, okay, so if stack of top is less than or equal to our array of I, that means if there is a smaller element in the array, if there is a smaller element in the stack, okay, so then you need to push the current element into the stack. Okay, so you need to push current elements into the stack, or what you need to do, like see, we encountered a smaller element 2 here. There may be next greater element after this one. Okay, so that's why you need to pop this. Sorry. Okay, initially if there is no such element, you need to push. But if there is an element, a smaller element than the current element, okay, what you need to do, you need to pop from the stack. Okay, so then you can just say stack dot pop. That means all smaller elements you are popping out from the stack. Okay, so this removes all smaller element from the stack up to you reach the element which is greater than the current element of a array. Okay, so still now you need to test if still there are elements in the stack. Okay, so inside the for loop, once you pop out all the elements, you check whether still stack is containing some elements. Okay, so if stack is containing some elements, okay, so it is nothing but the top element is nothing but the next greater element. Like you pop 2 here, okay, then the next element which is on the top of the stack, okay, is the next greater element, so that you add at this index. I is nothing but the index only, no, so directly you can add to this answer array. Okay, so now you can say answer of I, answer of I is equals to stack of -1. The top element from the stack we are adding to the answer I. Okay, otherwise what happens, otherwise what happens, if while popping out if there are no elements, the current element you need to push. Like for 8 initially we pushed it into the stack because there are no elements in the stack. Okay, so what you need to do, otherwise if this, okay, so even you take out the top element, you need to push the current elements at the end. Okay, so that's why you need to say stack dot append, because the element must be added at the end, no, so you should use instead of push function, you should use append, because the append is provided with the list in the Python. Okay, so append, then you say array of I, the current element you are appending into the array. Okay, so this is the function definition. I draw a line here. This is our function definition up to here. That's it. Okay, so it processes all the elements one by one, whatever technique we discussed here. Okay, so then finally it returns the new array. Okay, so it returns the new array. That array you should return. Okay, so after this code, what you need to do, you should say return the answer array. When you return the answer array, then it comes here and it gets printed. So this is how you should convert the logic into code. Got it? So sometimes the problem seems to be simple, okay, but implementation of the logic, okay, so you should use appropriate data structures. Okay, so by using stack data structure, here we can solve. Now see here, we are running only the loop one time. Okay, and this while loop, it won't run for the entire array here. Okay, it runs for 2 or 3 elements. Okay, hardly for some number of elements. It won't run for a entire array here. Okay, so that's why this is considered to be order of n complexity only. Okay, right. So let me execute this. Let me show the results in online compiler. Okay, so I'll open online compiler. Just let me copy the code, and now you can see here. Okay, so this is the code. Next greater right. Okay, so if you run the code, now you can see 5 10 10 -1 -1 generated here. Okay, got the result. So you can test with a different input formats. Okay, available in the problem statement. For this problem statement, only one input test case is available. Okay, so that we have tested here. Even you can generate your own test cases and you can test the code. Okay, so this way, mostly given questions on arrays, you should be able to figure out some logic. Okay, use appropriate data structure, and try to convert the logic into programming steps, and execute successfully, passing all test cases. Yeah, any doubts in this? So this way, you try to solve number of questions on arrays and strings, mostly on arrays containing numbers only, numerical values. So in our Infosys playlist. Okay, so we have good number of problems on arrays. Okay, so solved using different techniques. How to use two pointer approach and how to use sliding window technique. Okay, so these techniques, for which kind of problems we need to use two pointer approach, for which kind of problem sliding window approach, like sum of maximum subarray when asked. Okay, sliding window you need to use. So no need to carry your own laptop. Okay, so the test center people will provide systems to you with internet connectivity, everything. So that's all for today's session. Okay, so if you found this video useful, please like and share the video. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more such programming updates. So wishing you all the best. Happy learning, happy coding. Thank you one and all.